not as important, more important than the year before. I think for me to establish a legacy and to show that I am not just here to win it once and then disappear off the tracks is very, very important to me. I think also for anyone watching and for young girls looking in on thinking perhaps to have a career in sport, to see that you can do it year on year is for me very, very important.
They say the green grass and the green hills of Ireland are mesmerizing. What do you think about the rolling hills of KwaZulu-Natal?
Well, I think we don't actually have any hills that qualify as mountains in Ireland, so it's all relative. They're much higher in the Comrades route, but yeah, it always makes for a fun event.
Comrades marathon, down run, acknowledge me! I will win Comrade back to back because this is my show.
I'm so excited to come and fix what happened last year because I cramped, I walked, and when I was at home watching these videos, I saw one of the coaches telling his athletes, say, "That is working." So this year,
No, for me, it's the hills and the mountains as well. Both, because there is somewhere we run on the mountains, but the difference is only the altitude.
Okay.
The target is always to win. I've never had any kind of finish time in mind for Comrades. Like when it's the day that a course record is possible, then you find out, like where we are 60 kilometers or so, and then you can go for it. I told myself that I have to run Comrades once at least. So this year I didn't run 100k in May or June. So that's why I'm here for Comrades, and it's the first time. So I'm really excited to do my race debut.
Luckily, we've got depth. We've got a team that support each other. We've got different kind of category of runners. We've got runners who like to start fast. We've got other runners who like to start decent and then picking up the pace later on. And then we've got the in-betweeners that you don't know what to expect of. So the depth and the visibility is what makes the team a great combination.
Just before I get into that part of the program, just a big welcome to everybody. For those of you, the members of the media that are here, thank you very much for coming down to the Comrades Marathon, or coming up, whichever way you traveled. As the person who's dealing with media accreditation allocations for all of you lovely people, when 400 people all want to phone you at the same time and drop an email and tell you what their plans are for race day, it can get a little overwhelming, I'll be honest, but it's lovely to have you all here with us today, and we're looking forward to a great race on Sunday, the 98th edition of this incredibly historic event. And of course, this is the dress rehearsal for 2027, when we have the 100th edition of the Comrades, and I trust I'll be seeing all of these friendly faces back here in 2 years' time for that one, and another one in between, of course. I'd like to welcome members of our Comrades Marathon Association, the members of the board that are here, and the staff and volunteers, members of our sponsors and volunteers who have come to join us as well today, of course the media, and of course the athletes and team managers. We're going to get going. We're going to bring 10 female athletes up. As I mentioned in the invite, there is a possibility one or two might not have made it because of travel arrangements. I'll call them up and we'll see who is available to make it. I prepared a question each for the 10 or however many athletes, and then going to open the floor to the media. I have one request, please, folks. It's a short press conference. We'd like, ideally, for the questions to focus on the race. I know some of you have got burning questions about training methodologies and what did you have for breakfast last month before you ran that PB, but let's try and stick with the questions for today's race so that athletes can focus on that, and then we get them going. So 10 women up on the panel, one question each, short Q&A with them from the floor, then 10 men, and that'll be the wrap up for the day. Hopefully we finish within an hour. Our women's panel that I'd like to call up, and I'm calling them up in pretty much in a following order based on previous results. So they will sit, the first person I call up closest to me, second I call up gets the next chair, etc. First up, Gerda Steyn of Hollywood Central Gauteng. Second, Alexandra Morizova, running for Nedbank International. Third, Courtney Olsen, Hollywood International. Fourth, Carla Molinaro, also Hollywood International. Fifth place from Nsika, it's Nobukozi Chuma. Nice. Don't see Nobukozi coming forward, so there you go, folks. There's an example of an athlete that's probably still traveling and was not able to make it. Sad, but we have to move on. Next up, Catriona Jennings of Nedbank International. It's probably easier from that side. Jeanette Mbele of Umzimkhulu Striders. I also suspect that she was not able to make it. Dominika Stelmach, running for Nedbank International. Irvette Van Zyl of Hollywood Central Gauteng. And last but not least, my slightly taller friend than me, Gerda Steyn, Nedbank KwaZulu-Natal. Ladies, there are a microphone on each sort of side of the table here. Once I ask a question of you, if you just be so kind as to pass the microphone between yourselves. Also, please just switch it on before the first time you speak. There's an on-off button right in the middle. Jenna, that'll be you first. You got that?
No, sorry.
Let me give you the short version of that. Switch the mic on, please.
Stand on something.
Right, Jenna, we're going to start with you. 2 medals in Comrades, 6th in 2019, 4th in 2022. My question to you is, as the local athlete, the KZN Durban-based athlete here, do you think it helps knowing all these roads better than some of the other athletes?
To be honest, I don't think it helps knowing them. Well, it does help you, but it doesn't give you an advantage. But like the altitude, the athletes in Joburg, they've got altitude, we've got our route, and so I've spent a lot of time on the route. For me, I just enjoy knowing what's coming up next. I know what hill is around the corner, where to take it easy, where to push a bit harder. So I suppose it depends on the athlete. Some athletes like to know the route, some don't. When I was young and did cross country, I didn't used to run the route before. I didn't like it, but I've learned that I do like it now, so I do what works for me.
You almost sounded like you wanted to add something that works for me, and you looked at me.
Well, do you know what? I actually just wanted to add something little. Back in the year dot, I'm sure I beat Gerda at many races, so it gave me a lot of belief in myself. So Gerda, watch your back.
We're starting a new tradition in South African runs, the little bit of trash talk at the table to don't take it personally. There's a big target on your back, but don't look. Next up, I've got another young lady I've known for many, many years in South African running. I remember when she was a junior, I think she may still have been in primary school when she burst onto the scene, maybe high school. Irvette Van Zyl from Hollywood Central Gauteng. It's her debut at the Comrades. She's had huge success in South African running at shorter distances from the 10Ks right up to 50Ks, and she's an Olympic marathoner, but this is nevertheless a big step for her. So the question is, how are you feeling ahead of probably your biggest ever debut race? And there's a lot of eyes on you. So I'm not trying to make you nervous. We just want to know how you're feeling, Irv.
Yes, I am nervous. Don't make me even more nervous. But I'm looking forward to it. It's been on my to-do list for a long time, and I think yeah, it's time now. So hopefully after Sunday I'll have another one in my legs to come and do the up run, because that was the actual plan, to start with the up run and not with the down run. But yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Follow-up question for you. I've seen lots of posts on social media of you training on the route. So have you gotten to know these hills a bit better now?
I'm the one athlete that's the worst of knowing the route. So yeah, I've been on one route tester and I didn't even finish the whole route tester, because that day I only wanted to do 45K and the route tester was 52. So I drove the rest, but I will run everything on Sunday.
Very cool. Next, we're going to move on to Dominika Stelmach from Poland, running for the Nedbank international team. She's got 4 medals at Comrades, positions 5, 2, 4, and 9 from 2019 to 2024. So she brings a lot of experience to the race. Last year's 9th, but in previous years you even challenged for the win here. How do you feel ahead of this year's race?
Hello.
I think I might.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Let me just check that.
No. Yes.
Let me just zip across. And go.
Okay. No, it's okay. So hello everybody, once again in South Africa. So it will be my 5th Comrades, but the first Comrades to which I was preparing. I mean, the others were just one of the races I was running. So I hope this year I will do it better than previous.
As a journalist myself, I look at that and I go, "Oh, there's a quote that should be used." Finished 5th, 2nd, 4th, and 9th, but no, I didn't really train for it. No, this year I'm actually going to try. Dominica, I think you're being a bit too humble there. You also have had a lot of success at ultramarathon distance races around the world. Is there something special about the Comrades that brings you back every year?
Yes, I think is the competition because we don't have many competitive races now. I would love to take part in all those 50 or 100 World Championships, but they are not often. And Comrades is every year, and all the best ultra athletes are here. So yes, I'm also here.
So, if you missed that, just another. So she has never really trained for it. Now she's really going to try for a change, and she runs it because it's on the calendar every year. Nice quotes, Dominica.
No, but when I came second, I was, I think, 12 days after 82 kilometers race in Poland, and everybody said, "Oh, you would win if you would not run this race." But it was in my calendar also because it was Polish Championships.
Well, there you go. Nice and simple. It's great to have you back. Next up, another regular here, Catriona Jennings from Ireland, running for Nedbank International. Sorry, did you hear I said Ireland when I said that? Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Positions 3, 5, and 7 in the race from 2019 to 2023. So, of course, while we're speaking about Ireland, they say the green grass and the green hills of Ireland are mesmerizing. What do you think about the rolling hills of KwaZulu-Natal?
Well, I think we don't actually have any hills that qualify as mountains in Ireland, so it's all relative. They're much higher in the Comrades route, but yeah, should be. It always makes for a fun event.
Sorry, I have to pick up on that. You called these mountains, not hills.
They be like mountains on race day.
But I mean, now that you've done the race 3 times, do you think that experience makes it just that little bit easier?
Yeah, I think you definitely benefit from the experience every year. You make mistakes, but you learn from them, and hopefully, yeah, it's great to have the benefit of having run a down run before and knowing what to expect on Sunday. Kind of takes that unknown out of it, but of course, in a way, sometimes I think that not knowing is also nice because you can't fear it when you don't know it.
Well, all I'm going to say is to be sure. Next up, Carla Molinaro, another one with an interesting accent. Obviously, having lived in the UK for many, many years of her life, but has a South African heart. Running for Hollywood International, 7 medals at Comrades, 10th in 2018, and then 3rd and 4th in the last 2 editions. And I think may have taken a few people by surprise. You were a surprise package, so to say, and keep that phrase in mind. I'm coming back to it now. But you definitely no longer an unknown quantity here, not only because of your Comrades and 2 Oceans record, but also because of that little matter of winning the world 50-kilometer championship title. So my question is, has your approach to the race changed in recent years after the success that you've had?
It changed a little bit this year because I had a bit of a spanner thrown in the works. So I've recently become a cyclist. I completed the Tour de France in leading up to this race, which wasn't quite expected. So yeah, training this year's been very different. I've got no idea what to expect on Sunday, but I'm really excited and yeah, can't wait to give it a go.
Sorry, I have to ask, you said that was a bit unexpected. Was it unexpected to be riding the Tour de France or finishing the Tour de France?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But I did it on a nice green bike, so that was pretty.
Okay. I think your sponsors might think that you should get a purple one, but that's just another story. Just a second question for you is that you've seemed to have started a new career in social media. You've lighting up the social media with the training videos and quirky, I've even seen you sliding through the house in your socks at times, although you almost fell over, I might add. You might risk injury doing that. You enjoying all the social media?
Yeah, I love it. I'm trying to, like, you know, give some tips and hints and try and be a little bit useful and help all the runners out there. Like, I've done Comrades, this is going to be my 8th one. I like to think I know about the race now, and if I can help anyone have a little bit of fun or realise that their legs are going to feel like they're falling off as they're doing the race, then it's quite fun to be able to do that.
Well, best of luck. Next up, I've got Courtney Olsen from the Hollywood International Club. Team. She made her debut last year here at Comrades and finished 3rd. And my notes, I said, yeah, last year you were perhaps the surprise package of the women's race, an unknown quantity to some of the other women in the field and the other top contenders. Do you think that's different this year? And do you feel you're better prepared for what lies ahead?
I feel like it might be the same this year. I've been told that maybe it's not the case, maybe over here, but where I'm coming from, I feel like no one cares. I mean, my loved ones care, but I just kind of feel like I'm an underdog a bit still.
So you're saying back in the North American continent, they don't think the Comrades is very important?
I wouldn't say that. I would just say they don't realize how valuable it is. Like, it's just not on the radar as much as trail is right now over there. So, but over here, I'm not really sure what people are saying. But I would like to come in as an underdog because I don't like the pressure. And do you say, how did I train for this a little bit differently?
Well, if you want to tell us.
Yeah. Well, also this is going to be new because it's going to be my first down. And so I'm going to approach it like I did last year with just learning it as I go and hoping that I can apply that in the future and hoping it goes as well as last year did.
So I just have one follow-up question. Biden or Trump? Joking.
That's a good...
No, don't answer that. Don't answer that. We do not bring politics into the sport. It was a bad joke, I admit. Right. Alexandra Morizova, do you need a translator? Yes, we've got somebody right here. Perfect. So, ready to go. 2nd position, 3rd position, 2nd position, 1st position, that was in 2022, then 6th and 2nd again. That's your record from 2017 to 2024. You clearly enjoy the Comrades Marathon, and are you happy to be back?
Всем добрый день. Да, безусловно, это моя главная гонка в году и вообще на протяжении всей спортивной карьеры.
This is my favorite and the most important race in my career.
В этом году мы снова бежим вниз, и забег вниз для меня неоднозначный. Здесь была моя самая большая победа в 2022 году.
Again, we're doing the down run, and for me it's very important race because my first win was the down run.
И мое самое неудачное выступление это когда я заняла 6-е место.
And my most not the best when I was 6 was also down run.
Поэтому я очень взволнована. Наверное, завтра я уже все-таки окончательно решу, нравится ли мне бег вниз или все-таки вверх у меня получается лучше.
And tomorrow I will definitely realize for myself whether I like down run or I don't like it.
I think you saw the general reaction from anybody to that comment, like, yeah. Just one last question for you is that having finished runner-up, 2nd place 3 times, but you've also got the win. Is that runner-up, those runner-up positions, so those motivate you, say, I don't want that again, I want the win?
Конечно, 2-я позиция не сравнится с победой, но так уж выпало, что на мой век я соперничаю с Гердой, и поэтому, в принципе, 2-е место для меня уже как победа, потому что, я делаю все возможное, что я могу.
Of course, 2nd place is not the win, but here I compete with Gerda, and I'm doing all the best what I can.
No, thank you very much. I was actually hoping the answer to that question would be a short da. Yes, but it's okay. Right, last but definitely not least, we move on to the defending champion and a double race record holder, of course, at this event. I don't need to introduce her, but I'm going to anyway. 3 wins, 2019, 2023, and 2024. Everybody knows her as the smiling Gerda Steyn. And I always love to point out the fact that she could win the Comrades in 2019, breaking the up-run record, and still took the time to go off the course to put her litter in the dustbin. Love you for that. But jokes aside now, we all know how much you love this race, and you built your running career around it to a large extent. We all know how well you've done here. So everybody must be asking you, Gerda, are you going to win? Are you going to break the course record again, or the race record? But I don't think that's the way you approach these races, is it? You don't just go for records. It's not about that.
Absolutely, yes. That's not my only approach to a race like Comrades. I think for me, I started running Comrades when I was nowhere near thinking about winning this race. I just wanted to see if I can run 90 Ks. And that sort of passion was planted in me, that seed was planted in me, and the race has grown on me. Later on, my goals changed, and now, yes, I've won the race 3 times, but still today, my goals keep changing. My approach to the race keep changing. I'm learning. I'm still a student as well of the race, but I also understand that performance comes first. So for me, it is about getting out there and getting the most out of myself. Before I think about anything else, before I think about how tough the race is or how strong my competition is, I think about how can I get the most out of Gerda, how can I be better than I was this time last year. So that's how I approach the race. And Jenna started the whole press conference with I beat you before, I'm coming for you. Do you actually feel the pressure of that, knowing that everybody else is watching you to see what you do? Some might even trying to be following your same strategy. Bruce Fordyce in the old days used to say the same thing when he was on his way to his 9 wins, and he said how people would literally hook onto him and just try and stay with him. Do you find the same thing happens here, or do you? Because I know that recently at Two Oceans, for example, some of the other women tried to decide stop following you and do their own thing. You still won, you still hold the record there, but do you find the same thing happens here at Comrades? I do. I think of 2 things when you ask that question. First of all, when you come in as the defending champion, Alexandra will know as well, it comes with a certain amount of pressure. But I feel like it's the way you process that pressure. Whenever I hear the word pressure, immediately in my mind I say, it's not pressure, it's support. So I don't think that even for someone like my sponsors or anyone supporting me from the side, it's not pressure, it's just them wanting me to succeed and them having the faith in me and having a belief in me that there is a chance that I can succeed again. So that is how I pressure it, that's how I process it. Yes, it comes with pressure, but it won't faze me off my race and my race strategy. And then, of course, when it comes to me versus the competition, there's always going to be that target on my back where it's not about the supporters or the anyone watching the race, but it's the actual competition. And that to me, I feel like we are athletes, we are professionals, yes, but we are also entertainers. So the race, if there's a little bit of strategy and tactics involved, it makes for great watching, and it brings a little bit of life into our sport, and that is also something that I love when I watch sports. So I actually quite enjoy that side of running and that competitive side to it. It's not a bad thing that it's a very strong field. I know my competitors well. I know more or less their capabilities. I know what they've done in the past and what they've done in other races, and I'm 100% clear to what my challenge is on Sunday. So it excites me in a way, and I'm not unaware of it, but I think it's just how you take it and if you can take it in your stride.
Very cool. I must say, I did not see that coming. Gerda's comment was, we are elite athletes, but we're also, and I was expecting the word human to come out. Instead she said entertainers. Nice new one. Right, folks, we're going to open the floor to questions. Again, I stress, please, it's short, sharp. We're going to take 2 or 3 questions only. If you've got a good one, right there. There's a microphone that's going to be brought around. Is there already? Go for it.
PG Naido, my question is on Gerda Steyn. If I can term you as the queen of the ultra marathons, I think everyone in the house agrees. Well done for the last, and being a defending champions. I just got 2 points. You mentioned about challenges. are there hidden challenges, or knowing the race, other elite athletes in front of you, what seems to be, if any, of the challenge? The second question is, I've been punning on this for the last few years about the prize money. And now, an experienced runner, and you put a lot of effort into it, you think the prize money, current prize money, is in line with expectations that you should, for what you have contributed, for what you have achieved, should reach the 1 million rand mark, because I done 27 years ago, I done my first Comrades. It's a big sacrifice, and you have been almost full time in it. So you think the Comrades Merit Association should have a lead thing to boost the prize money next year to 1 million rand, because this is the international race. We have international runners. We expect even international sponsors. So I'm sure that.
Okay. Yeah, we just need to keep the questions a little shorter, please. Gerda, joke. Go.
Thank you. First of all, to answer your first question with regards to competition, yes, I think there are certainly a strong field. As I said before, I can name all the ladies who's sitting here, and as well as more ladies who's not even sitting here, but I know already that the competition will certainly come from strong competition like Alexandra Morizova. She's recently run a 2:30 marathon, which is really, really fast. And when it comes to your Comrades, that marathon time still plays a huge part. That speed that you've got on the marathon definitely still translates into a fast Comrades. I can also talk about Irvette Van Zyl, my teammate, who's doing her debut marathon here at the Comrades. She's run a sub 3:30 Two Oceans marathon, which is faster than Frith van der Merwe ran, which to me translates to a potential sub 6 hour marathon here at the Comrades. So the field is immensely strong, and like I said, I just don't think that should be a negative. It's positive for the race, it's good for the sport, and it's good for individual performances as well. So when it comes to your second question, I am not unsatisfied with the Comrades prize money. I think that year on year they have increased the prize money. Of course, it is myself and many other athletes here are professional athletes, so it's our means of income. But I do appreciate that Comrades have increased the prize money through the years. So I think also to see so many sponsors, especially this year, coming on board with the Comrades Marathon is very positive for us as athletes and for the race's future as well.
Roxanne.
Roxanne from an athlete. My question's for Irvette. She's looking at me now. Irvette, being your first Comrades, what part of the route scares you the most and why?
Why such a hard question for me? I'm trying to get through grade 4 and now you're hitting me with this. Yeah, I'm not sure, but what I've heard of all the podcasts I've listened, it's Fields Hill. So I ran it in the route tester, but that was not on such tired legs. So I think it's probably that one that I'm the most scared of. And yeah, just I think when I cross the finish line, I will, like anything that you have like decided to do, like first marathon, first ultra, going through that uncomfortableness, that is, I'm actually looking forward to that, to see how far I can run through that. So that's basically it.
Well, sorry, question in front? Charles.
Thank you, Charles Barroy from SABC Sport, the national broadcaster. Gerda, you've won it back to back. There's a play in your mind that you could be winning it 3 times in a row. And also it will be a 3rd victory running for a different club should you pull it through. How important is it to complete that hat-trick of victories for you?
Every year to me is if not as important, more important than the year before. I think for me to establish a legacy and to show that I am not just here to win it once and then disappear off the tracks is very, very important to me. I think also for anyone watching and for young girls looking in on thinking perhaps to have a career in sport, to see that you can do it year on year is for me very, very important. So every year I approach it as if it's my first time, as if I'm a novice, and as if I have nothing to fall back on, and I make sure that I stay sharp and also excited about every race that I compete in.
Folks, I'm going to take one more question from the floor. If there's somebody who wants to put a hand up. One more question for ladies? No? Oh, where's bottom? Yeah, well, the rest of us want to hear the question too, please.
Fair enough. Gerda, I know you guys don't like talking about records before races, but this year's course is obviously a little bit longer than the last down run. I don't want you to say whether or not you're going for a record, but do you think it's possible that the record could be broken on this longer course?
When I work out my race plan, I try to look at my training and I try to be realistic and logic about how I would approach the race. So for me to run a record, a time record, would mean to run around 8 minutes faster than 2 years ago. So I would leave it to each and everyone to decide whether they feel it's possible for me or for any other athlete here to do that. But long before thinking about the record, I think just that winning sort of on my mind is what is everything that's going on in my mind is about that. And also, again, like I said, to run the strongest race that I can run. I do believe though that whether or not it's a record, that it will be a fast race. With a field like this, of this quality, I don't think we can expect it to be anything other than a fast-paced race.
Righto. Onelena Konkobe. The man with the words ahead of his races. There's always a good quote that comes out of here. He's got one medal at the Comrades Marathon. He was 56th in 2023. So he doesn't have the Comrades pedigree of some of the other athletes, but he pulled off a stunning win at the Total Sports Two Oceans Marathon earlier this year down in Cape Town. And I'm assuming that you must be really fired up for this race and hoping for a great result. And go.
Hello.
I think it was on.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Comrades Marathon, town run. Acknowledge me. Sunday Eve, the gun started. I started with the gun. No matter pacemaker or not, I'm going up front. I'm here to learn lots of things on Comrade Marathon, but 3 years come, 4 years come, I will win Comrade back to back. Because this is my show.
I just want to point out, for those of you who might not have been here earlier this year at Two Oceans, he said the same thing before Two Oceans. People were like, yeah, and then he won it. So you heard it here first, eh? You heard it here first. Onelena, anything else you want to say to the other athletes? Have you already said everything? They know you're coming for them. Okay. Next up, I'm going to move on to our French visitor, and I hope I'm saying the name correctly. Guillaume Roule, right? It's also his. It is his Comrades debut, but he has a 6:19 for 100 kilometers, where he broke the French national record. He's run a 2:14 marathon, which means there's some serious speed in those legs. And he's also raced in South Africa before. He was second at the Nedbank Runified 50 kilometer last year. So first question is, are you happy to be back in South Africa? Are you hoping for a good result here? And do you think that speed in your legs from those fast times you've run will help you on the Comrades route?
So always a pleasure to be back in South Africa. It's the 4th time for me. This year the preparation was not at at the top, because I had a surgery at my Achilles in January, at the end of January. So I was back at training like 2 months ago. So I'm not in the best shape of my life. I'm there to discover the race, to do my best, to learn a lot, to come back next year to make maybe the win once. But I'm definitely there because it's the race that I dreamed about long time ago. and one of my friends won it and finished second last year. He won it, so, and Pete always told me that this is the race, and even if I run 6:13 on 100k, even if I run the European record on 50k, records are great, but running Comrades is more than records. It's more like a story to run for ourselves.
Well, if you're going to treat this as a fact finder and then come back for the win next year, then we really are looking forward to see what you can do this year. To his side, a young man who has needs no introduction because, of course, he is a former winner of this race. Edward Motibi, Nedbank Gauteng North team, 5 medals at Comrades. He was 4th in 2018, then he won it in 2019, and after that 2nd, 3rd, and then 16th last year. Now, after the success of 2018 and 2019, and your 3rd position after, 2nd and 3rd after that as well, then you missed out on a gold medal last year. Does that motivate you to come back this year to reclaim that golden status?
Thank you very much and good day everyone, media, comrades, again for giving us opportunity as runners to come and compete to the highest level as always. A bit of last year I was a bit disappointed on myself because I couldn't get my 5th Comrade gold medal, but the results always motivate you so that you can go back and do better, because failure doesn't mean that you can never do it again. It means that you have to dust yourself and go and try again. So I'm back again and I'm going for my gold.
Just a follow-up question for you is, as a former winner, do you feel a little bit of extra pressure when you come and run Comrades, or do you just take it one step at a time?
Pressure will always be there, but if you allow pressure, it will always be there. So I just come as I am. I've trained, so I don't have any problem.
Great to hear. Moving to his left, and of course, another young man, no need for introductions, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of his CV. The winner of the Comrades Marathon in 2022, the winner of the Comrades Marathon in 2023, and then 14th last year. And of course, we know that things are similar to Edward. Things didn't quite go to plan last year, but we all know that you can't run a brilliant race every single year. Some years will be slightly slower or not as successful. How do you feel ahead of this race, and are you ready to fight it out at the front again?
Good day, everyone. I'm so excited to come and fix what happened last year, because I cramped, I walked, and when I was at home watching the videos, I saw one of the coaches telling his athletes, say, "That is walking." So this year, I'm not yet to walk. Thank you.
I just want to ask you the same question I asked Edward about, as a former winner, do you feel extra pressure? Or now that Piet is the defending champion and he's got all the pressure on him, do you feel that just a little bit more relaxed?
No, I don't have pressure, they have pressure.
More fighting talk from the men. Right, moving on to Johannes Makretla, Nedbank Gauteng North. 5 medals at Comrades. He started with a couple of silver medals, and then it was 5th and 6th in the 2022 and 2023 races, 12th last year. That meant that you got a Wally Hayward medal last year because, of course, you outside the top 10, but you're still a sub-6 hour finisher. Very, very few people ever get a Wally Hayward marathon. So some people think it's quite special. But for an athlete with 2 golds, does that feel like a consolation prize? And does it actually motivate you to go that much better this year, saying, I don't want another Wally, I want another gold?
Okay. Sorry, just push the button a little.
On, it's on.
Good day, everyone. No, I can say is every year, yes, I have a goal. So last year I missed my goal because I was struggling
from the camp, I was struggling. I have injury for 18 days without running. So that's why I missed my goal last year. So I'm fighting for another goal this year.
So no injuries this year. Now you're fighting fit and ready to go.
Yeah, this year I don't have injury. This year my training go well, so I will fight.
Lovely to hear. I love it when you can have athletes and former winners and former gold medalists and say, right, it didn't go well last year, but I'm back to try again. I love that fighting spirit. Moving on, a couple of the athletes weren't here, so I'm going to scroll down. Teboho Selo, all the way from the Kingdom of Lesotho. Max Elite Lesotho athlete, 10 medals at Comrades and obviously one of the all-time greats here because, sorry, I've misread my notes, I skipped it to the wrong line. I'm going to do that again. Teboho Selo, 10 medals, 5 golds including a 5th place in 2015 and an 8th last year. There's a lot of experience in those legs because you've run the race those many times. Do you think that's going to help you this Sunday? And are you also there motivated to push hard for a podium position?
I just want to greet everyone who is in here. I don't think the times will help me because it was the previous years. But when talking about 2025, it's a different. Because the pressure of the age is there as well. But my pressure, it was still on when I'm still training. But on the competition day, I just want to come and put what I have already do on homework at home. That's all about it.
One of our female athletes from overseas, I forget which one it was now, she referred, it was Katriana Jennings, she said these are not hills, these are mountains. But you come from the mountain kingdom in Lesotho, do you think these are hills or mountains?
No, for me, it's the hills and the mountains as well, both, because you know, there is somewhere we run on the mountains, but the difference is only the altitude.
Okay, fair enough. Now moving on to the defending champion. 2 medals at the Comrades Marathon. In 2024, he took the win in decisive style, but I think most people still remember that incredible finish in 2023 when Tete was looking over his shoulder all the time and Piet was coming around the corner, and it was in one of the closer finishes in the history of the race. So, Piet, we all kind of assumed that you got so close to catching Tete in 2023 and that motivated you to push that much harder in 2024 for the win. But is that, what I'd like to know is, what's inspiring you this year?
I mean, good question. I remember that you were asking Gerda before about whether it means anything to her, you know, like to my 3 years in a row or something similar. And I think my answer is going to be very similar. Like, to me, every year I'm running the race for the first time. When I'm out there on the course on Sunday, I don't think the past means anything to me because every year I'm training not to be good enough based on what has worked in the past. I'm training to be at the best level I can be. I think this year, well, my entire year has been very different from last year because after last year I got the opportunity to become a full-time professional runner. I signed a contract with Nedbank. And I think this has made a big difference. I feel like I'm more prepared than ever for this race. But there are never any guarantees, so I'm not going to say like this is going to be enough for the win. What I can say is that I feel that I'm convinced that I'm better than ever, that I'm going to run the best race of my life. And this is all that we can do, I think. Like, of course, it's true what you were saying, like finishing second 2 years ago, it did motivate me for the year after, or at least that's how I tried to formulate it for myself, because of course it was a big disappointment. It was like, okay, because of this disappointment I'm going to be more motivated next year. This year and last year I would say I've done more studying of the course, I've watched some past races and things like this. But much more importantly is, of course, in a more general sense, being a student of the sport is necessary to also improve from year to year, what I was saying before, and to be the best athlete I can be. It also means occasionally taking certain risks. Like I know for myself, my last year in Kenya, like I've been probably 10 months out of 12 in Kenya, and it was definitely a process of trial and error, because I was here actually in South Africa in September, and then later again in November, and all my races went terrible. And I later found out that it was because it was probably since the end of August I was walking around with a major parasitic infection, and that had to be treated when I came back. But these are things you learn, and now I'm doing regular medical checkups, and I'm much more careful with everything that I do, and I feel like finally the formula is really working for me, and it really came together when I came back to Kenya in March. It started coming together from then until like the end of May when I came here, and that's why I'm convinced that I put in the best training of my life, and I hope it's going to be enough for the win, but I cannot guarantee it.
Cool. Folks, from the floor, any questions? Just raise your hand so I can bring a microphone to you. No hands? I've got a... Is that Zintler? Sorry, can I get the microphone there?
Oh dear, I hope no one shoots me for this question. So this is to the deadband team. Who's the rabbit this year, and when are they pulling out?
Listen, I'm not sure these are any rabbits here, but yeah.
We haven't got a rabbit this year, we've got hares.
Oh, there you go. Quote of the day from Nick Pester.
I've got an elite contender here from France. Bonjour, say how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, just briefly, the introduction was done that from France in 27 years of age. Why did you decide to contend for Comrades, this monstrous race?
I ran several 100k, but always in May or June the previous years, and I told myself that I have to run Comrades once at least. So this year I didn't run 100k in May or June, so that's why I'm here for Comrades, and it's the first time, so I'm really excited to do my race debut.
With the homework that you have done, how do you think you're going to fare on Sunday? Do you have any target in mind?
My target is to discover the race, to make my best, enjoy the race, and for sure sub 6 hours, maybe a top 10 day or so, but I'm more there to discover the race, to discover to come the next week to make a win.
And then what do you make of the field? Because I think you've studied your opponents, the likes of Piet, the likes of Tete Dijana, and from Kobe, who can fly from the start to the 70-kilometer mark and give pressure to you guys.
I'm a big fan of Piet because we are close friends. We run together the previous world champs at 100k. We exchange our jersey at the end of the race. We stay in touch. Maybe every month we text each other. So I hope Piet will win this year.
But why not you?
Because I know that I'm not actually 100% of my shape, but this year Piet, next year me.
But then all the best, and hope to see you once around.
Thanks a lot. See you.
We've got Piet Wiersma, the defending champion. Say, how are you?
I'm good. Feeling good.
And you're looking calm. Is it because the race is in 2 days to come, or is it because of your training?
I mean, 3 days by my calculation. I think, mentally I've also made some good steps this year. Of course, especially in these last days before Comrades, it can get a little bit more chaotic and busy than you would like it to be ideally. There's just a lot to do before the race, and like for me, the way to deal with that is to stay as much as possible in present. Like you're kind of at the eye of the storm. You're calm in the middle of when everything is going down. And yeah, like I said, it's just about staying present, I would say. But also, I'm definitely confident in my training. Yeah, like lots of anything can happen during this weekend. And I know that it's just about accepting everything that can happen. You know, the better you prepare all around, the better you prepare for any scenario that can come down. And that also gives yourself confidence and peace of mind, knowing that I've done it.
You are now an African child. I see you were training in Kenya. You came to Soweto Marathon, you came for Hollywood. What have you learned about running in Africa? Or let's just add again, maybe the second question will be, why did you decide to go to Kenya for your Comrades training?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot talk for the entirety of Africa, but what I know is that of course this continent has some of the best runners in the world. Even before I had ever set foot in the continent, of course I knew about this. I knew there's something to be discovered here. Things I'm doing here, that kids in Europe might not be doing. And I feel like I'm really in the process of discovering that in Kenya. Like my experience in Kenya by and wide has been very positive, and it just feels like my home right now. I'm basically celebrating their summer film week most of the year. It just feels good to be here, to have no expectations. Being truly a professional runner right now is really about that, like dedicating yourself to your profession and not having distractions. And I think there are a few better places in the world probably than this place in Kenya where I'm right now, just to have no distractions, but at the same time be very, very sharp in training, being pushed by some of the best athletes in the world.
But do you think then the altitude as well as maybe the terrain there offers something good for your comrades in your just marathon and ultra training?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 years ago when I was coming to Comrades, I had done almost no training whatsoever. So of course, the hills in Kenya play a very big role in getting ready for Comrades. Yeah, the altitude, it definitely helps. I noticed that last year, like 2 years ago, I'd never done any altitude training, and I still got second. So it's possible to do well without it, but it definitely has something. But it can be difficult to get it right because there are so many variables of altitude training, so many variables in a place like where I'm training in Kenya that can make you weaker rather than stronger if you're not careful about it. But yeah, if you do it well, it helps. There's no doubt about that.
Now that you've mentioned that you were doing your own training to better yourself for this year's training, for this year's Comrades, it's 90 kilometers. The previous you ran on 87. Do you have a target in mind for this one?
The target is always to win. Yeah, I've never had any kind of finish time in mind for Comrades. You know, like when it's the day that a course record is possible, then you find out, you know, like where we have 60 kilometers or so, and then you can go for it. But before that, I mean, that shouldn't be in mind because so many things can come down in the race. 1 year the competition will be stronger than the other year. It can be hotter. It can be hot. It can be cold. It can be a lot of wind or a little. You know, like so. Right now, I'm just focused on to go for the win.
27 years of age, and you are AC at Comrades, and you still have maybe 10 years that you can still become a champion and win most of this. Is it this your ultimate, or are you still eyeing other world races?
You know, I'm just approaching it 1 year at a time, one race at a time. So I'm not looking for 10 years in the future. I mean, I might not be running in 10 years. I might not be alive in 10 years. You know, like so. What I'm doing right now is what I'm focusing on. For me, right now, there's only Comrades, and what comes after. So depending on how it goes, of course, this weekend, you know, the opportunities that may create.
And then, are you ready for this one, or are you just prepared for this one?
Very ready.
Okay, all the best for Sunday, and hope to catch you during the prize giving on Monday, and just to do a post-mortem, and all the best.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sure. I've got the former Comrades champion, and he is wearing his jacket because he has won Comrades at his heydays. Say, how are you?
Hello, now I'm fine, thank you. Looking forward to an exciting race that's going to happen coming Sunday, the 8th of June 2025.
I just saw your field that you presented here in terms of the men's and the ladies. Which ones are you taking?
Well, you know, we are a team, and I don't want to say that one or that one's going to win, because we normally work as a team. As long as one of the team members win, we're happy. We work as a team, we're not individuals. We got part of them is the happy bunch, you know, Tete and Dave and Magetla and Galalat Singh. And then we've got guys who train, we've got 5 training camps going in South Africa for the Comrades. And one was in Zimbabwe, and then Mr. Michael Kokoroni. He's bringing Prosper Matuira and Lino Machina. Then we got guys from Dalstroom, the happy bunch, also Dominika Stelma, who joined them. I invited her over to come and train with the guys in Dalstroom. I'm very excited that Dominika's going to have a great race. And then we've got a team here up in Underberg and Drakensberg under coach Matandeni Nene. And also the Gaffa, who came third in last year's Commerce Marathon from Ethiopia. He's been trained by coach Bilay Hagos. And then very exciting lady, new lady on the block, Dikilede Majara. You'll see her name is going to be on the soon on the Comrades history books.
And then you are popular. You know, when I was young, I used to know that there's someone called Nick Besta, and he's bringing rabbits or hares. Are you bringing rabbits this year?
We're not bringing rabbits, we're bringing leopards, some faster animal to contest the race.
But then it's a difficult one. It's 90 kilometers. How confident are you with your field?
I'm very confident. You know, it's 90 kilometers. Everything can happen. We always say that. We always say that, you know, something can go wrong with the champ, like Gerda, or with Piet. But luckily, we've got depth. We've got a team that support each other. We've got different kind of category of runners. We've got runners who like to start fast. We've got other runners who like to start decent and then picking up the pace later on. And then we've got the in-betweeners that you don't know what to expect of. So with the depth and the visibility is what makes the team a great combination.
Hope to see you on Monday, the post race, just to do a post-mortem of this wonderful race that you've won. It's once in your life.
Yeah, no, it was great. And the 3 second places is the worst positions in a competition.
I understand, but being a back runner, I mean, I don't care less. I just care about my medal.
Yeah, that's true. As long as you finish the race for the normal South Africa, it's a great achievement.
Nick, always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.